Hello, my friends. Welcome to Luna English Podcast. This is Luna. Today I've been thinking about motivation and why it feels so hard to find sometimes. Many people believe motivation is something that suddenly appears, like energy falling from the sky. We wait for the perfect mood, the perfect time, or the perfect feeling. But that moment often doesn't come. This topic matters because waiting can quietly stop our lives. We stay stuck, not because we are lazy, but because we misunderstand how motivation really works. Motivation is not magic. It's something simple and human. It grows slowly, and it often starts very small. When you understand this, you stop blaming yourself. You stop thinking something is wrong with you. You begin to see that motivation is not something you must find far away. It's something you can build step by step in your everyday life. In this episode, I want to gently explore where motivation truly comes from, why action often comes before inspiration, and how small steps can help you move again. We'll go slowly, together, and look at motivation in a calm, realistic way that feels possible for you. And if this little moment of learning feels helpful to you, I'd be glad if you pressed like and subscribe to the channel. It keeps us connected, and it supports this quiet space where we learn and grow together. Your small action truly helps more listeners find their way here. Is motivation something we wait for? No, motivation is rarely something that arrives on its own. Many people wait until they feel ready, excited, or confident before they start. But in real life, that feeling often appears after we begin, not before. When you wait, your mind stays still, and stillness can turn into doubt. You may think you need motivation first, but what you often need is movement. Even a very small action can wake your energy. When you stand up, open a book, or start for just 1 minute, something changes inside you. Your brain notices that you are moving, and it begins to support you. Motivation grows from action, not the other way around. This idea can feel surprising, but it's also freeing. It means you don't have to wait anymore. You don't have to feel perfect. You can start where you are with what you have. When you stop waiting and begin gently, motivation starts to follow you, like a quiet companion walking beside you. Why does motivation feel so fragile? Because many people build it on emotions instead of meaning. Feelings change every day. Some days you feel strong, other days you feel tired or unsure. When motivation depends only on feeling good, it disappears quickly. This doesn't mean you are weak, it means you are human. A more stable kind of motivation comes from values, not moods. Values are the things that matter to you, even on difficult days. When you connect your actions to something meaningful, motivation becomes calmer and stronger. You may not feel excited, but you feel clear. You understand why you are doing something, and that gives you direction. Fragile motivation asks, "Do I feel like doing this today?" Strong motivation asks, "Does this matter to the person I want to be?" When you shift this question, motivation stops being dramatic and starts being steady. It becomes less about energy and more about choice. And choice is something you can practice every day, quietly and gently. Can action really create motivation? Yes, and this is one of the most important ideas to understand. When you take action, even a tiny one, your brain responds. It releases focus and attention. You begin to feel involved instead of stuck. Action breaks the heavy feeling of waiting. You don't need big action. Big action can feel scary and tiring. Small action is enough. One simple step tells your mind that change is possible. When you act, you stop thinking only in circles. You give your mind a direction. This creates momentum, which is a soft kind of motivation. It's not loud or exciting. It's quiet and helpful. Action also builds trust with yourself. When you do what you say you will do, even in a small way, you feel more capable. That feeling feeds motivation. Over time, action becomes a habit, and motivation becomes less important. You move forward not because you feel inspired, but because moving has become normal for you. What role do values play in motivation? Values give motivation a reason to stay. When you know what matters to you, your actions feel connected instead of random. Values are not goals. Goals can end, but values continue. For example, growth, learning, or calm living can guide you for a long time. When your actions match your values, you feel inner support. Even when you are tired, you understand why you continue. This kind of motivation doesn't push you, it gently pulls you forward. You don't need to force yourself every day. You remind yourself what kind of person you want to be. Values also help you say no to things that drain you. When you protect your energy, motivation feels safer. It doesn't disappear so fast. You stop chasing quick excitement and start building something deeper. Motivation becomes quieter, but stronger. It becomes part of who you are, not something you search for outside yourself. Is discipline the opposite of motivation? No, discipline is actually motivation's support system. Many people think discipline means being hard on yourself, but real discipline is gentle and consistent. It's like caring for a garden. You don't water it once and expect it to grow forever. You care for it a little, again and again. Discipline means showing up even when the feeling is not perfect. It doesn't mean pushing until you break. It means choosing small, kind actions regularly. When discipline is gentle, it protects motivation instead of killing it. You don't depend on strong emotions. You depend on simple routines. These routines create safety for your mind. When your mind feels safe, motivation doesn't need to fight. It can rest and grow naturally. Discipline is not about control, it's about care. When you treat your effort with patience, you stop burning out. You begin to trust the process, and motivation stays with you longer. Why do big goals sometimes kill motivation? Because they can feel too far away. When a goal feels huge, your mind focuses on how much work is needed, not on what you can do today. This creates pressure and fear. Instead of feeling inspired, you feel heavy. Motivation needs clarity, not pressure. Big goals are not wrong, but they need to be broken into small steps. When you focus on one small task, your mind feels capable. You feel progress quickly. That progress feeds motivation. When goals stay too big, motivation feels lost because you can't see movement. Small steps create visible change. They remind you that effort matters. When you allow yourself to move slowly, motivation becomes friendly again. It stops shouting and starts whispering. You feel less overwhelmed and more willing to continue. The key is not lowering your dreams, but changing how you approach them. Step by step, motivation finds its place. How do tiny steps change everything? Tiny steps remove fear. When a task feels small, your mind doesn't resist it. You don't argue with yourself for hours. You simply begin. Tiny steps also create consistency. When something feels easy, you are more likely to repeat it. Repetition builds confidence. Confidence builds motivation. This process is quiet but powerful. Tiny steps also teach patience. You learn to respect slow progress. Instead of rushing, you stay present. Each small action becomes a signal that you are moving forward. Over time, these signals add up. You look back and realize you've changed. Not because of one strong moment, but because of many gentle ones. Tiny steps give you your power back. They remind you that you don't need perfect conditions. You only need willingness to start small. When you accept this, motivation becomes something you live, not something you wait for. What happens when we rely on feelings? We become inconsistent. Feelings are natural, but they change quickly. If you act only when you feel motivated, your progress will stop and start. This creates frustration and self-doubt. You may think you lack discipline or strength, but the real problem is the system. When you expect feelings to lead you, you give them too much control. A calmer approach is to notice your feelings without obeying them. You can say, "I feel tired," and still take a small step. This builds emotional strength. You learn that feelings don't decide everything. Motivation becomes less emotional and more stable. You stop riding emotional highs and lows. Instead, you move steadily. This doesn't remove joy. It actually creates more peace. When actions are not controlled by mood, you feel grounded. Motivation becomes a quiet background support, not a loud demand. Can purpose replace motivation? In many ways, yes. Purpose gives direction even when motivation is low. When you know why something matters, you don't need to feel excited every day. Purpose helps you continue during boring or difficult moments. It answers the question, "Why am I doing this?" When that answer is clear, action feels meaningful. Purpose doesn't rush you. It stays with you. Motivation comes and goes, but purpose remains. When you act with purpose, motivation often returns naturally. You feel connected to your effort. You feel aligned with yourself. Purpose also helps you forgive slow days. You don't quit because you understand the long path. This creates emotional balance. Instead of chasing motivation, you walk with purpose. Motivation becomes a bonus, not a requirement. And that makes your progress more peaceful and sustainable. Why consistency matters more than intensity? Intense effort feels powerful, but it often leads to exhaustion. Consistency is calmer and more reliable. When you do a little every day, your mind adjusts. The task becomes familiar. Familiar things feel easier. This reduces resistance. Motivation doesn't need to work hard. It flows naturally with routine. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. You begin to believe in your ability to continue. This belief is a strong source of motivation. Intensity depends on energy. Consistency depends on commitment. Energy changes, but commitment can stay. When you choose consistency, you protect yourself from burnout. You allow growth to happen slowly. This makes progress feel safe. Over time, small, consistent actions create bigger change than short, intense effort. Motivation grows quietly inside this steady rhythm, without pressure or drama. How does self-kindness support motivation? Self-kindness reduces fear. When you are harsh with yourself, your mind resists action. Fear blocks motivation. Kindness opens space. When you allow mistakes and slow days, you feel safer trying again. Motivation needs safety to grow. If every action feels like a test, motivation hides. When effort feels like care, motivation appears. Self-kindness also changes your inner voice. Instead of criticism, you offer encouragement. This makes action feel lighter. You don't need to prove anything. You simply continue. Kindness doesn't mean avoiding effort. It means supporting effort in a healthy way. When you treat yourself like someone you want to help, motivation becomes cooperative. It works with you, not against you. This creates long-term energy and emotional balance, which keeps you moving forward. What causes stagnation, and how do we move again? Stagnation often comes from overwhelm and waiting. When you wait for clarity or motivation, nothing moves. To move again, you don't need a big plan. You need one small action. Movement creates clarity, not the opposite. When you act, even slightly, your mind wakes up. You begin to see options. Stagnation is not failure. It's a signal that something feels too heavy. Lightening the load helps. Choose a step so small it feels almost easy. This breaks the freeze. Once movement starts, motivation slowly returns. You regain a sense of control. That feeling is powerful. It reminds you that you are not stuck forever. You are simply paused, and a pause can always end with a gentle step forward. How do small steps restore personal power? Power comes from choice. When you take a small step, you choose yourself. You prove that you can act, even without perfect feelings. This builds confidence. Confidence feeds motivation. Each small action becomes evidence that you are capable. You stop feeling helpless. You feel involved in your life again. Personal power is not loud. It's quiet and steady. It grows when you keep small promises to yourself. These promises don't need to be impressive. They need to be honest. Over time, these small choices change how you see yourself. You begin to trust your ability to move forward. Motivation no longer feels mysterious. It feels earned. You created it through action, patience, and care. This is how small steps slowly return your strength to you. Where can we truly find motivation? We find it in action, not waiting. We find it in values, not moods. We find it in small steps, not big pressure. Motivation is not hiding from you. It's responding to how you treat yourself and your effort. When you move gently, motivation moves with you. When you care consistently, motivation grows quietly. You don't need to force it or chase it. You create the conditions for it to appear. This understanding gives you freedom. You stop searching outside yourself. You start building from where you are. Motivation becomes something natural, something human. It's not a sudden spark. It's a slow, steady light that grows brighter with every small step you take. And that light is always available to you right now. And if this episode felt helpful or comforting in any way, I'd be grateful if you liked the video and subscribed to the channel. It helps you stay close to the next lesson, and it also keeps this quiet learning space alive and growing.